We've been told cancer is the disease of modern life, of plastic, of sugar, of stress, smog, and screens. We say it like a curse the 21st century cast on us, as if our ancestors, living simply in caves and forests, somehow escaped it. But what if that story is a lie we tell ourselves to feel safer? What if cancer was already hunting humans 100,000 years ago? Already crawling through the bones of children in the Stone Age? Already killing kings, slaves, and mammoth hunters long before factories, fast food, or cigarettes existed? The uncomfortable truth is this: cancer didn't appear with civilization. It came with being alive. And the only reason we think it's modern is because almost nobody used to live long enough to die from it. Today we're going deep, through prehistoric bones, mummified tumors, and ancient skulls, to ask the question nobody wants to ask. Was cancer always with us? If cancer were truly modern, we wouldn't find it in fossils, but we do. The oldest known human cancer is older than agriculture, older than language as we know it, older than the wheel. Archaeologists discovered a 1.7-million-year-old foot bone in South Africa with an aggressive bone tumor, osteosarcoma. It belonged to an ancient relative of ours, a hominin walking the African savanna long before Homo sapiens ever existed. That foot didn't belong to a king sitting on a throne. It didn't belong to someone who smoked, drank soda, or sat at a desk for 8 hours a day. It belonged to a creature surviving in the wild, and cancer killed it anyway. And it didn't stop there. In a 120,000-year-old Neanderthal rib, scientists found a tumor in the chest of a being who never tasted sugar, never breathed exhaust, never saw a microwave. In Egyptian mummies, we found breast cancer. In Peruvian skeletons buried under desert sand, we found prostate cancer. In medieval graves across Europe, we found leukemia in children's bones. Every era, every continent, every kind of human. Cancer was never waiting for us to invent modern life. It was already there, walking beside us through every age. So if cancer is so ancient, why does it feel like a modern epidemic? The answer is brutally simple: age. For most of human history, the average life expectancy hovered around 30 to 35 years. Not because everyone died young, but because so many died as infants and children that the average crashed. Even the lucky ones who survived childhood rarely made it past 50. Predators, infections, childbirth, broken bones, starvation, frostbite, plague. There were 1,000 ways to die before your cells ever had the time to mutate enough to grow a tumor. Cancer is, at its core, a disease of accumulated damage. Every time a cell divides, it has a tiny chance of making a copying error. Most of these errors are harmless. Some are deadly. The longer you live, the more times your cells divide, and the higher the chance one of those errors turns into cancer. In other words, cancer isn't punishing us for living wrong. It's punishing us for living long. Our ancestors didn't escape cancer because they were healthier. They escaped it because they died before it could find them. Today, the average human lives to 73 worldwide, more than double what our great-great-grandparents managed. We didn't summon cancer with our modern habits. We summoned it with our success at staying alive. Here's where the story gets stranger. Cancer isn't even a human problem. It's not even a mammal problem. It's a life problem. Dinosaurs had cancer. Scientists confirmed an aggressive bone cancer in the leg of a horned dinosaur that lived 76 million years ago. Sharks get cancer. Birds get cancer. Plants get tumors. Even tiny invertebrates like clams can develop contagious leukemia that passes from one shellfish to another through the water. Every multicellular creature on this planet pays the same price for being made of cells. Sometimes, those cells break the rules. Sometimes one of them stops dying when it's supposed to, stops cooperating with its neighbors, and starts copying itself forever. That's all cancer is, a cell that forgot it was part of a team. The miracle isn't that we get cancer. The miracle is how rarely we get it, given that the average human body contains around 37 trillion cells, and millions of them are dividing every single second of your life. Cancer is the cost of being alive in a body more complicated than a single drop of slime. And every species on Earth has been paying it since the very first multicellular creatures appeared 600 million years ago. So if cancer isn't modern, what is modern life doing? It's not creating cancer from nothing. It's loading the dice. Tobacco, processed meats, air pollution, constant exposure to UV from sunbathing rather than living mostly in shade, hormone-disrupting plastics, chronic stress that wears down the immune system that normally hunts down rogue cells, sedentary lifestyles, late or skipped pregnancies that change lifetime hormone exposure. All of these don't invent cancer, they accelerate it. A Stone Age hunter had maybe a 3% lifetime chance of developing cancer, mostly because they rarely lived past 40. A modern human has roughly a 40% lifetime chance. That isn't because their cells are uniquely broken, it's because we live longer, eat differently, breathe different air, and have invented dozens of small daily nudges that push our cells toward mistakes. So cancer is ancient, but the rate at which we get it, that's where modern life shows its bill. The ancestors didn't have an invisible shield. They had a short timer. This shift in understanding matters more than it sounds. If cancer were truly modern, then beating it would be a matter of going back to clean food, clean air, simpler living, a return to Eden. But cancer was already in Eden. It was in the Neanderthal's rib and the dinosaur's bone and the medieval child's grave. Cancer is not a punishment for civilization. It's not karma for plastic and sugar. It's the price every complex living thing pays for the privilege of being made of trillions of cooperating cells. That doesn't mean we shouldn't care about pollution, lifestyle, or stress. Those things absolutely matter. But it does mean we need to drop the guilt story. You didn't earn cancer. Your ancestor in the cave didn't earn it either. It's a built-in feature of biology, and the fact that we now live long enough to face it is, in a strange way, a sign of how far we've come, not how far we've fallen. Our great-great-great-grandparents would have given anything to live long enough to fear cancer. Subscribe if you want to keep uncovering the ancient roots of the things we think are uniquely modern. Tell me in the comments, what disease or struggle do you think is modern, but might actually be as old as humanity itself? Thanks for watching, and stay curious.